Hi, welcome to my first chit chat video on the hobby channel. This is going to be a book haul. I love to read. I wanted to give you a little chit chat of my vibe of reading. That way we can start conversations in the comments, like recommendations and things like that. Okay, so I read mostly 99% mystery, thriller, and horror. That's what I read. Good big Stephen King fan. In terms of horror, he's probably my favorite, but I read other authors. Currently, horror-wise, I'm reading How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix, I believe. About halfway through that book. Reading that. I like to read multiple books at a time, and I can get away with different genres if I do that. Like reading different ones. So I'm reading, like I said, How to Sell a Haunted House. I'm reading 2 books right now. And I'm reading a romance, actually. I do not read romance. It's just never been my thing. My mom's a big romance reader. She's been reading romance all my life. But I just haven't. It wasn't my thing. And I recently read, I was like, in like the book talk on, pushing, like, I'm like, okay. I like smut like the next person, but anyway, I've read a few dark romance. I'm reading right now. I'm reading a slow burn romance. It's by Victoria Quinn. It's book 12 of 13 of this like Hamilton series. Yikes. But I've read some dark romance. I've read this year, Haunting Adeline. I've read Desert Herd as well from H.D. Carlton. I've read 3 of her books. But mostly thriller. Mostly mystery. Mystery thriller. I love that. It's like psychological thriller. I love that genre book. So just so you know where my vibe is, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know. Let's say 16. Almost 30 books here that I'm going to chat and tell you about. This brings me so much joy. I have a drink here. This is rum and Dr. Pepper, not rum and Coke. So. Pretty good. Yeah, so I'm just gonna chit chat, and let's do it. Almost all of these are psychological thriller. If it's not, I'll jump in and tell you. But over the last, like these books were purchased over the last month and a half. There's a local bookstore. Second and Charles it's in other states. And they have new and used books. Love that bookstore. And I think I got a couple of these from Books A Million. I don't remember, but we're going to get into it. And all these books are written in my planner, in my to-be read list. There's no order that I need to read them in, but yeah. Okay. So anyway, that's what my reading vibe is like. I have a Kindle Unlimited. I read on my Kindle. And then I also read physical books. So I think I got all my reading facts out of the way. Okay, let's take a sip. Let's get started. So this book I had never, I was just recommended by my friend, Gone Girl. I'd never seen the movie, never read the book, and she was talking to me about it. She said it's one of her favorite books of all time. And so I was like, okay, psychological thriller, I'm into it. And she actually let me borrow hers. And I didn't have time to read it yet. When people let you borrow a book, I feel like you got to read that one right away. They return it back. And when I was in the bookstore, I found a copy of it. And this says where are my glasses? Okay. And this says it's special edition with previously unpublished scenes. So this is Gone Girl. If you please, no spoilers. No spoilers in the comment. Just tell me if you like it, what you rated it. So this is actually next on the list to read. After I finish the 2 books I'm currently reading, after I finish those 2, I am going to do this and something else. All right, so let's get that. So yeah. And I'm excited to film this because they're going all on my shelf. She also recommended this. This is not a psychological thriller from my understanding. This is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. This is probably the only book I bought full price here in this list. The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. And it's about a woman who's been married 7 times and she's telling the stories of her husbands. I don't know much about it. I do not know, but she suggested it, and the books that she suggests have been great. Shout out to you, Bailey. So I'm going to, that's in the, again, please put your comments on how you feel about these books. No spoilers, but yeah, I want to talk about books. So We have The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I should tell the author, by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I don't know any other of her works. So my vibe, let's go to let's go to this side. So I do like, one of my favorite thriller authors right now is Frida McFadden. She wrote The Housemaid. Oh my God. If you've never seen The Housemaid, seen it. If you ever read The Housemaid, real quick, it's really good. So The Housemaid is about this young woman who, she gets hired as a housemaid for this rich couple. Obviously, she's a live-in housemaid and things like that. And she doing her job, whatever, can't believe that she scored this job because she has almost no experience, all these kind of things. Living in the house, weird things like their behavior is kind of weird, the wife's behavior specifically, and can't really pick up on anything, but then she begins a friendship, maybe a little inappropriate friendship with the husband, and things unfold from there, and the twists and turns in that are really, really really good. And come to find out, she was, and she has her own demons in her past that she doesn't want to get out. And and those demons in her past, they come to light in a very weird way. And it was very good twist. There is 3 books in that Housemaid series: The Housemaid's Watching and The Housemaid Something Else. I started reading the second one, but I'm gonna have to start it over from the beginning. But you don't have to read the other 2. It's the same character, but it's a different adventure, if you will. So The Housemaid was really good, and I was really, really impressed with that writing. And so I kind of went ham in the bookstore when I found all these different used copies. Well, I don't know if they're used or just discounted because they look brand new. But anyway, less than $10 for other books from Frida McFadden. Haven't read any of these, but you guys let me know. I want to get them all. So we have The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden. We have that. Yeah, I'm so excited for these. I'm so excited. We have The Boyfriend. We have The Coworker. Okay. The Inmate. The Crash, and The Teacher. These are the ones that I have. There's so many more. The Locked Door, The Tenant. So the next time I go to the bookstore, whenever I go to bookstores, I look for hers because I'll have them. They'll be in the list. I don't set goal. I set a reading goal to read 20 books in 2020. I didn't start really reading in 2020 until March. I'm be honest. Until March. I have read 15 books. It's June. I've read 15 books. So that's pretty good. Like I said, this is one of many hobbies, so I'm not reading nonstop. But I hope to read all these books before the end of the year. Probably won't, but we'll see. We'll get there. Oh, one more from her. A short story. Let me put these down. So excited. Can't wait to put all these on my shelf. If you see my hobby room tour, my little bookshelf, that's my to-be-read bookshelf. This is a short story, The Gift. So I can't wait to read that. Really, really interesting. So, a little short story. And I picked that up. The Gift. Okay. Where are we? Alright, so some books, let me go off my vibe. I'm going to tell you about my vibe. There's ways, my boyfriend asked me, how do I pick books when I'm in a bookstore, especially a thriller mystery? They're usually, like on a table, like, they have like the book talk section. So like, they're usually there, and I'll read the back of it. The cover and the name brings me in, and then I'll just read the back of it, and I'm like, Like, if I can't guess what I think is going to happen... Now, don't get me wrong. I try to guess with all my books. Like, I read the back of them. But, like, in some of them, I guess. And most of the time, I'm wrong. But if I genuinely don't have a guess as to what I think might happen, it intrigues me. And so I'm going to get it. So that's one way that I search for a book, that I'll decide to get one. And the other way is if I see like the reviews, like you look on the back and like the quotes from like people that like, this was great, blah, blah, blah. And if there is quotes from another author that I know I like and they're praising the book, then that kind of leans me towards it as well. So, this book, I think this is the one. No, it's not. This one just Yeah, this one just intrigued me. This is called And So It Begins by Rachel Abbott. I don't know anything about it. Who will believe your story if the only witness is dead? So this is a quick, let me read this. It says, where does murder begin? When the knife is raised to strike or before, at the first thought of violence? Oh, I'm sorry, I read that wrong. When the knife is raised to strike or before, at the first thought of violence. So where does the murder begin? Cleo knows she should be happy for her brother Mark. He's managed to find someone new after the sudden death of his first wife. But something about Evie just doesn't feel right. When Evie starts having accidents at home, her friends grow concerned. Could Mark be causing her injuries? Called out to their clifftop house one night, Sergeant Stephanie King finds 2 bodies entangled on blood-drenched sheets. And as Evie stands trial, the jury is forced to consider, is there a proper defense for murder? We'll see. We will see. Excited. Alright, I grabbed one Stephen King. I will say, I love reading Stephen King and like watching the movies after if there's a movie, but Stephen King's books are super long. They are very long. It takes me a while to get through them. Whew. But I saw a shorter story by Stephen King. It's called The Body. About these kids. I think they find a body. Someone disappears. I don't know. Yeah, so a little short Stephen King. Okay, alright. Get those out of the way in a little bit. Alright, where am I going? Where am I going next? Oh, let me talk about these really quickly. This is another situation where I love the author and I wanted to do more of her works. So if you've ever read One of Us is Lying by Karen McManus, okay? Love that book. So that book I found in like a thrift store for like $2. I was like, it looks interesting. I'm going to give you the synopsis really quickly. So it's set, this high school. 5 high school kids get detention. They get detention for various reasons. And they're in detention. Teacher walks out to go do something. They're in detention minding their business. One of the kids has an allergic reaction. He has a peanut allergy. He drinks from a cup that has peanut oil on it, whatever. He drinks and he dies. And there's 4... the 4 kids left in the detention are the suspects, and the book shows it kind of it's written from each of the kids' perspectives. It jumps back and forth, and they're like, they're being the police and like the news is like what trying to solve this kid's murder, and so the kid that passed away, he's kind of dorky kid, and he runs this like blog, like a TMZ for the high school, where he like spills all the tea about the students and things like that. And the thing is, apparently all his tea is usually true, and so they're going back and forth trying to figure, they're like, one of us is lying about this, someone killed him, because they all find out, we find out as the readers individually, that all of these kids had some tea that he knew about that he was threatening to release, and none of them wanted, about them individually, and none of them wanted that to get out. So they all kind of have a motive, but it's one of those, it's really cute, really good, and the end will shock you as to who did it and what happened. Anyway, so that book is its own story, but it does kind of trail into her 2 sequels, which is One of Us is Next, okay? And I believe, that happened, the book, their senior year. I think they were seniors. So, they're done. But One of Us is Next, and then One of Us is Back. So, yeah. All right. I'm excited about that. Okay. All right, cool. Whew. Now, I guess I'll do the hardbacks last because that's fun. So this book was sitting out on the shelf on the thrillers and stuff. This one is called The Perfect Marriage. There's The Perfect Marriage and The Perfect Divorce. Never read anything from Geneva Rose before, but when I read this, I thought this was good. Long story short, man's cheating on his wife. His wife is like the best. Is she a defense attorney or she's a prosecutor? If I'm not mistaken. She's a criminal defense attorney. And he's cheating on his wife, and his mistress turns up dead, and he is the top suspect. And she's going to have to try to prove his innocence, even though I don't know, but I'm ready. And then there's another book called The Perfect Divorce, but I don't know anything about this author, so I didn't get that one. And if I like this one, I'll get that one. But let me know if you've read it. All right. All right, and now we have all of these books now that I'm about to show you literally on a table, on like a thriller, the thriller table. I read the back, thought, let's try it. Let's give them a try. So this one's called The Maid. This, reading the back of it, it comes out as a, just want to make sure this is the one I thought of. Yeah, she's a maid, and the owner of the house, the rich guy, turns up dead. That's all I know. She's a suspect. It says a dead body is one mess she can't clean up on her own. There's praise for it. People, when I was online and like, you know, you look up books and different things on the different like subreddits and stuff, and people will recommend this. Like, if you've read this, you know, so I saw it enough times to recommend. I was like, all right, cool. We'll try The Maid. I'm sorry, who's the author for that? That is Nita Prose. Don't know much about it. Okay, this one also, again, never heard of the author, but it's called The Last Invitation. Now, I don't know if this is it's a thriller, not necessarily a mystery. So this one is about a group of women who meet the second Tuesday of every month, and they vote. And when they vote, someone dies. So these women meet up. These women meet up, and they vote on what sleazy, trashy billionaire man dies, but they die in like mysterious circumstances. So I think reading the back of it, like, the society doesn't know these women are behind it. Like, they just die of freak accidents, whatever causes, but these women are voting on it. And a young woman joins the club. I don't know if she knows that's what they do, or like, but basically she joins the club, and I think she's trying to get out of it. Like, oh no, it gets serious up in there. It's called The Last Invitation, and it says getting in is by invite only, getting out is impossible. And that's by Darby Kane. So, alrighty. Alright, this one is called The Twist of a Knife by Anthony Horowitz. And this one, oh, this is a classic, like, there's a, let me see. Hold on. Yeah, okay, so this author is being accused of murder. So he is in prison trying to prove his innocence, and I think he has beef with the detective. So yeah, he has to prove his innocence from prison, I believe so. So that is The Twist of a Knife. This author also wrote, apparently, Magpie Murders and The Word is Murder. So, yeah. This one is called The Golden Spoon. I thought this read cute. So this is a baker's, it says a combination of Clue and the Great British Bake Off. So basically there's this woman who has a baking show, and someone turns up dead on set. I think it's like a baking competition. So it says 6 awestruck bakers descend on the grounds for Bake Week. And so then someone turns up dead on site. I also watch Murder, She Wrote. I really love Murder, She Wrote. So I do like sometimes a soft, easy mystery. Everything doesn't have to be a psychological thriller and really like screw you up. But I do like a classic whodunit, if you will. I grabbed this one because a lot of, I mean, most of my books, what's the word I'm looking for? The characters aren't described. Well, they are described. I just assume that the people that, if the author's white, the characters are going to be white. So this one stood out to me because this is written by a person of color, and the characters are people of color. So I thought that it's set in Harlem, and this is a murder mystery, a riveting Harlem Renaissance mystery featuring Louise Lloyd, a young black woman working in a hot new speakeasy when she gets caught up in a murder that hits too close to home. And this is called Harlem Sunset by Nikisha Afia. A Harlem Renaissance mystery. Like, that's going to be nice. So, picked that up. Okay. 2 more before we go to hardback. Whatever. Okay, yeah. 2 more before we go to hardback. This is another one that just seems so sweet. Oh, this is called Thursday Murder Club. So this one's A short one. Let me read it. In a peaceful retirement village, four unlikely friends meet weekly in the jigsaw room to discuss unsolved crimes together. They call themselves the Thursday Murder Club. When a local developer is found dead with a mysterious photograph left next to the body, the friends suddenly find themselves in the middle of their first live case. They might be senior citizens, but they're cleverer than most. As the bodies begin to pile up, can our unorthodox but brilliant gang catch the killer before it's too late? That is fun. Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. Isn't that cute? I'm so excited. All right. Now, okay, so this next one, this I was looking at her. I never heard of this author before, but what got me to try some of her books was, I told you about like reviews from other authors, and Frida McFadden, who wrote probably one of my favorite psychological thrillers, did a review and was like, she's good. Like, this is terrifying. This is scary. And I'm like, oh, you scared Frida. I gotta read you. So the author is Lisa Jewell. I grabbed two of her books. This is called Then She Was Gone. Then She Was Gone. And about a disappearing girl. We'll see where she went. Someone disappeared. That's all I'm gonna get into. Someone disappeared. So this one's Then She Was Gone. And then now we're getting into the hardbacks. And the hardback from her that I got is None of This Is True. And yeah, it says when a famous podcaster interviews a stranger promising to divulge the story of a lifetime, secrets emerge that threaten to expose the truth of the lives they've both worked hard to project and protect. So, how about that? None of this is true. If you read it, let me know. We got 4 more. We're getting there. We got 4 more. So this one, again, I saw this on the thriller table and I was like, this sweet little cover, little girl. It's called My Darling Girl. I like creepy stuff like this because this is a horror book. It's supposed to be. And, yeah. So basically, this woman has a life. She's estranged from her mother. She grows up. Her mom was alcoholic, abusive. She's estranged from her mother. She grows up. Has a husband, kids, all this type of stuff. And then her mother calls her out of the blue. She's dying of cancer. She has like 2.5 weeks to live. And she's like, I want to spend my time with you, my son-in-law, and the grandkids. Come, please help me, take care of me. And she's reluctant, but she goes and weird shit starts happening. She protect her family, I guess. She had My Darling Girl by Jennifer McMahon. Alright, this book is, I'm excited for this one because I read The Silent Patient by Alex. How do you pronounce his last name? I cannot pronounce his last name. See if it's focusing. I wanna get it right. Alex Michaelides. Anyway, he wrote the book called The Silent Patient. Basically, a woman shoots and kills her husband, shoots him in the head, kills him point blank, and stops talking. She stops talking immediately. Police arrive, arrest her, trial, everything. She does not say a word, not one word. She does not say a word. She gets convicted. Insanity. She gets convicted. She's in a mental institution. This is 10 years later. She still has not spoken a word. And the book starts from the perspective of the new psychologist that's been assigned to her. Later on in the book, you get her inner monologue. You do. And you get like jumping back and forth, like back in time to when it actually happened, what's going on. And there are twists and turns in here. There's the perspective of a couple people, at least one person that works in the mental hospital with her. Oh my goodness. It's crazy. So he wrote that, The Silent Patient. I read that book probably in like 3.5 hours. I could not put it down. And this is his other book, The Maidens. No idea what it's about. But I saw his name and it was on sale. It was on the clearance table. It says a spellbinding tale of psychological suspense, weaving together Greek mythology, murder, and obsession. All right. I'll do it. Sold. I'll do it. Let's take a sip. We got 2 more books left. The last mystery we have here. It's called The Block Party. The Block Party by Jamie Day. I do not know this author, don't know anything about it, but this is one of the ones that I read the inside and I thought it was fun. So I'll read it to you. The residents of the exclusive cul-de-sac on Alton Road appear to be living idyllic lives, but underneath the surface, they're all entangled in a web of secrets and scandals. At the annual summer block party, the only thing more dangerous than the desserts are the neighbors, and this year murder is on the menu. But who is the killer, and why did they kill? The answer lies 1 year earlier when the rivalries and betrayals first unfold, and the residents of Alton Road each discover that nothing and no one is ever as it seems. A block party. It says you'll die if you miss it. The Block Party. Sounds like a movie. So we got that, like Jamie Day. Let me know. Let me know if you've read it. Let me know if you've read it. I'm into that. Into that. And now finally, this one's not a mystery. I read it and I was like, okay, it's called The Housekeeper's Secret. The Housekeeper's Secret by Iona Gray. And basically there's a housekeeper. It is set in northern England in the summer of 1911. And it's classified as a gothic romance. Yeah, that's all I know. Excuse me. Yeah, it says this beautifully written historical novel is a sumptuous page-turning delight filled with an enticing mix of forbidden romance and buried secrets. A must read for fans of Downton Abbey. I never read Downton Abbey, but we'll see. I was like, okay, all right, yeah. I think she's having an affair with somebody. So The Housekeeper's Secret. And that is my book haul. Am I going to buy more books before I read all of these? Absolutely. We'll be there. But I'll keep you updated. Again, I do not have a schedule for different things, but I'll try to do a few videos. I'll try to do a few videos after I finish a few books or so. But yeah, thanks for chilling with me. Thanks for joining me back on this channel. And I'm really excited to keep reading, finishing the ones I'm reading, but keep reading, and I'll let you know how it goes with these. But I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.